about harnessing the power of AI for business leaders, workers, whoever you are. Being able to harness the power of AI will really help you. AI, have been, as I say, going a lot of lectures and courses on it. I have a couple certifications in AI already, which is insane. But what one of the quotes that I really liked said it said that AI is like what electricity was when it first came out. Didn't occur to me until they said that. I go, yeah, that's right. Because electricity, some were saying it's helpful, some were saying it was dangerous, right? I mean, hope none of us were really there when it came out, but we've all seen the movies, we all know. So yeah, so you've got to use all technology when it comes out new smartly. Don't, and you want to make sure that you are using it in a way that's going to help you and not hurt anybody, or hurt yourself either. And when electricity wasn't around, what were we doing at work? We had very different ways of working, and then we saw how electricity could help so many different things, right? So I thought that analogy was crazy. There's something I was watching yesterday in another little webinar I attended, and it said artificial intelligence, if you don't learn it now, because you're going to be a dinosaur in 3 years. I thought, wow, I mean, that might be exaggerated, but I thought that was pretty profound as well. So I don't think you need to dive in and let me just share with you what I think you can do. So, what is AI? It's the ability for AI to understand something called prompts. They're just questions that you put into AI. And then you're able to tell it what kind of answer you want. What kind of voice do you want? Do you want it to be creative? Do you want it to be authoritative? Do you want it to be like what are you, who are you when you are answering? So often you say to the AI, "Hey AI, you are an expert in digital marketing, or you're an expert in grant writing, or you're an expert in whatever it is you want it to be an expert in, then tell me something." So you're telling it what to tell you, and tell it to me in a sentence, tell it to me in 2 pages, tell it to me, and you tell it how long you want the answer to be, right? Tell it to me does not sound very professional, but respond to me in a sentence, or respond in a graph, or put whatever you're talking about in this current document. So I'm going to show you all that kind of stuff. So AI came from a company in San Francisco, a startup called OpenAI, and much of what we are working with is based on that foundation. So the short-term risk of AI, there's many, but the one that I found very interesting in all my courses that I've taken that I wanted to share with you was it's so good at mimicking a human and turning it into a video that their worry is that political figures will be seen as saying messages that aren't them, so that's pretty nasty. So there are um, legislation being put all over the world for AI on being transparent, being ethical, and so privacy, having encryption end to end. So there's all sorts of legislation that's catching up to this new technology. So that's happening. And at the end of this presentation, I have for you policy that I found for you on the federal government's website. I have guidelines, and I have how to be transparent. So what we're going to talk about on today's workshop webinar is how to use it at home. And I'm going to do that first. It's kind of just fun because I want you to think of some of these things that you could use AI at home, because they're simple things and they're fun things. And then you'd be able to think about, oh, I could use that at work. That's how I use the at home part. And then there's business development, proposal writing, grant writing. There's so many things you can do with it that I'm going to share with you. And there's a ton of things. So I'm not going to share with you every single thing. If this was a hands-on workshop, we would take a poll and say, I'd have a list of things. They'd say, who would like to hands-on do the top 3 things here? And we would actually hands-on go in and do them. And it'd be kind of fun to see, the answers each of us get based on the prompts that we put in. So it becomes easier and easier as you learn how to talk to it. And then there are day-to-day tools, as Kayla and I were talking about at the beginning of when we weren't recording yet, we were talking that, oh, look, there's AI Companion on Zoom. So many tools that we use day to day, Microsoft Word or Docs, Zoom, or Canva all have AI being built into them. So I'm going to just show you some of those at the end. And then, of course, social media content. I'm not sure, I have it kind of built in all throughout, where many of the things that you ask AI to do, you can say, well, turn that into a social media post for me, or so I'll show you what I mean by that. So where do you find this AI I speak of? So this is Bing it's a Microsoft tool. It's on the Bing, um, it's on the Bing browser. Thank you. I used to only use Chrome browsers. Now I seem to use Bing a lot. And it's because when I go to Bing at the top right corner, I click on this and it opens this up. It's called Copilot. This is the Copilot that's based on Chat GPT, based on the original language that was created. And it's one that I find gives out beautiful answers. I will go in and I will look at ChatGPT, I'll look at Copilot, I'll look at a Ghostwriter. There's a few of them that I use, and I find that this one keeps on giving me the best answers, at least for what I'm doing. And so how it works is you click on this thing on your browser, and then this comes up. And basically you can click on the chat mode or the compose mode. They're both in the same place. You click on this and it comes up. And then in the chat mode, you can ask it, you're just asking it questions. And these are the prompts that we talk about. You're going to put the prompts in down here. And the prompt could be, find me the other companies find me the 5 top companies in this blank, put in the city, that sell this product. Tell me why they're good, tell me their weaknesses, and put it into a chart. And all of a sudden they do that for you. It's crazy. Or you can ask it, find me the I'm in such and such a city. I'd like to, and I do this for a living. How can I reach a target? Is there a target audience I'm not reaching? So it does all this research and comes back. And what I like about it, it's not just coming back and telling you whatever it wants to. It's got links for where it's gotten all the information from. So anytime I use any of the AI products, search engines, I do not just take their answer, cut and paste it. I look at it and I look at its sources to make sure it's what I believe, because I'm the authority in what I know in digital marketing and different things. I like to make sure that what it's giving me is something that I believe in, right? It's something that isn't 5 years old. It's something that's relevant. It's something that makes sense to the company I'm talking about. And sometimes if your prompt is a little bit loose, like it didn't interpret it properly, they say that it's kind of funny. They say that AI will start hallucinating. It gives you back crazy answers because it's trying to answer, but it's answering something you never even thought you asked. And they call that hallucinations. So it'd be pretty embarrassing if you put something, you're asking it for something to do with eh, how your coaching services help your clients, and give examples of the steps to coaching, and it comes back with football coaching. I'm just making that up, versus business coaching because you forgot to say business coaching or something, right? So it's only as smart as what you bring in there. Then the compose, what I love about compose, and this you can imagine is one that is part of Google Docs or your Microsoft Word now. They're called different. They're not called Copilot, but they have Compose in there where you can ask it to write something and ask it to write it in a paragraph or just ideas. Or you can ask it to write a blog for you, and you're telling it, even if you just tell it bullet points, these are, you tell it, you are an expert in business coaching, and say you are an expert in business coaching. I'd like you to give me all the 5 important bullets on business coaching. And so it'll give you the 5 important bullets. Then you can say to it, not just 5 important bullets, expand on each of those bullets. And then you can say you want it short, medium, or long. And then it gives you its information. So cool. So now if you're writing something that you want to put that into an email out to your business or client, you can put that in here and into the email. Or you can say, I'd like a blog post. As you know, uh, if you have an area on your website that's for blogs, it helps your search engine optimization. It helps you get found. And so many people have great intentions. They create their websites and they have a blog area, but they don't know what to write about the blog. They take too long. Writing a blog, a good blog, is going to take you a couple days. Now, writing that good blog is only going to take you maybe half an hour because it just takes your raw thoughts. You put your raw thoughts up here and you say, if you want it casual, enthusiastic, informative, professional, funny, what do you want the tone to be, the voice? So, what is your voice and your brand? And then you tell it to write a blog post, and and then you also want to tell it the keywords you want in your post. Why do you want to get found? I would also tell it in your case where you're located because you want your organization to be part of the blog post. And then it comes out and you're able to look at it and say, yeah, I'm going to use that. So, what I like about this too is you can see down here, you can't see down here, but it says 1 of 30, I think. So, it remembers what you just asked it or what you were talking about. So, you can say that blog post you just wrote, I need you to add more information about XYZ because it may have missed a whole topic that you thought it was important. Or you could tell it, here is a link to my website. I'd like you to write a summary blog post about what's on that page. That's mind blowing. Or you can put in right here, here's a link to my whole website. Give me 10 social media posts based on my website. And it comes out, and I'll show you some examples. So I'll show you examples on some of these. So this is, as I said, Copilot, and you find it on Bing, and you click on this thing up there, and it comes up. It's automatically up there. It's automatically there for you. Then this one is Chat GPT. You can put Chat GPT on your cell phone, and that's what this is an example. I had a bunch of different ones I was using, but I keep on going back to Chat GPT on my cell phone. So if I am writing a post for somebody on the go, and I want to just make sure that it makes sense, I will put it into Chat GPT. I'll say I'm writing a social media post for my client. They are a shoe store company, and it's the end of season winter blowout. And then I cut and paste what I was going to write. I say, can you improve on this post? And it comes back with the most magical posts. Or I could say, what keywords am I missing? And it'll tell me what keywords I'm missing. So it's it's so powerful. So here are some things that I think in your case, in your businesses and what in your organizations that you run, that you might help your clients with, or you might, if you are those that are working with clients, or you could help your own organization with responding to sensitive emails. You put in the email response you were going to do, and then it comes out with something that is more empathetic, if you'd like to be more empathetic, or more details. And it's just beautiful. Elevator pitch. If you're trying to find an elevator pitch for what you guys do, you might want it to go through your website, or you can even ask it to be my coach in writing an elevator pitch, and ask me questions until you have, and talking about AI, has enough information to give me an elevator pitch. And then it ends up giving you 3 different elevator pitches. And I'll give you an example. Writing a business plan, grant writing is huge. I have submitted a lot of different proposals since I've had access to AI, and it's taken the stress off because I know what I do well and I put it down in bullets and it looks pretty plain. But all of a sudden, I put that into AI and I say, make this look a little more enthusiastic because that's kind of who I am. I'm enthusiastic. It comes out with, yeah, this is exactly how I'd want to say it. If I say, make it look more professional, it's not who I am. I mean, I'm professional, I hope, but that's not how I write. So it writes my tone. I absolutely love that. Summarizing information. I will write a proposal on Google Docs or Microsoft. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Google Docs or Microsoft Word. And then I have AI already built into my Microsoft Word. And then I'll ask it, please give me an executive summary on my proposal or on this document, and it'll give me the most brilliant executive summary that I've ever seen. And then I put that in the email that I forward to the person that I'm sending off the proposal to or the grant to, and then with the attachment of the entire proposal. It's just so much easier. Press releases. I love press releases with AI. I tell it the location I'm in. I ask it, first of all, who should I send it to? I'm about to do a press release on such and such. And then I tell it about my press release and the information, and it comes up in the right format and gives me the press release. Of course, you want to read it to make sure it's correct. And then I say, look at that press release and write 10 social media posts based on that press release. And it's brilliant. It comes out with just so much creativity. Brainstorming. You can basically say to AI, you are a expert in business development or growing my business. Can you ask me questions on how I might grow my business? And it goes back and forth and asks you questions. What kind of industry are you in? How are you trying to grow? What makes you excited when you get up in the morning? So I'll show you these examples. So these are just, again, you're getting this whole presentation, and this has been videoed for you as well. These are just more examples in some of the different courses I've been on. I've been gathering information for you. AI Coach Buddy, personalizing guidance through your entrepreneurship journey. So these are different ways that you're able to use AI. The elevator pitch, it's crafting compelling instructions to help you craft your elevator pitch. And I'm going to show you that one. And there's all sorts of other ones in here. Translation services. So the translation services, I haven't used them myself, but they say the translation services, if you're translating into different dialects or different languages, the translation services are pretty amazing. So I would, of course, test it first, but they say that makes it so much easier to translate your website, translate a document that goes out. So there's all that kind of stuff. So this is something, again, I'm going to give through to Kayla, that it's different prompts, and I'll show you how we use them in a second. That's right. So understanding your audiences in a niche market and finding a niche. So understanding your audience in a certain city, saying what is not being addressed in this city, what's being missed, what else can I offer in this city if this is my target audience. So you can ask it to create a table describing the motivation of each of your target audiences and how you can better meet their needs. It's really cool. So the prompt that you would put in there as an example is, you're an expert industry researcher who can help me identify my main audience and what drives them to make a purchase. I want you to give me a list of audiences in my area most likely to buy my product. So you'd want to list your product. So how this kind of works are these prompts. You say area and product, and then down here you list the product and the area. Why I like this is if you work with different companies and they come in and they try to figure out what they can sell to their target audience, this can help you, where you write this prompt, and then down here you write down the different. So client 2 comes in, their product is different, their area is different. So you have this prompt that you can use over and over again if you're a coaching kind of person and you're in what you do for a living, or if you have several products or services that you offer a different people in your area, then you can use this over and over again and see what they suggest. And it's really powerful. So I'll be sharing this with you, and I hope that you're going to find it useful. So at the end of this slide, I'll be going into showing you how you add AI to Word and Google Docs and PowerPoint and Google Slides, Canva, Zoom, and email tools like Constant Contact. So this, again, I have for you. I'm not going to focus on it, but these are user guidelines that if you're using AI, you're supposed to put it on your website and be transparent as to how you're using it, where you're using it, prioritize people's and communications, consider don't put bias into your AI. If you're tell it you want to be fair and not prejudice in any way. So I'm not going to get into this, but this is something from the Canadian federal government that I have for you in this package. This is also from the Canadian federal government, this link, and it says, can I use AI to draft emails and brief notes? So it asks questions as to how you can use AI in a way that's ethical and in a way that is not found to be a risk. And this is all of the ways that you can use it. So again, you can go back to this at another time. I just thought I would share this with you. AI policy, this again is kind of similar to this one, guidelines, the policy. It's transparency, prioritize individuals and community, so AI policy. And then the guidelines, there's also guidelines from from the federal government, but I don't want to bore you with these. Not that they're boring, but I want them there for you if you're going to be working on that ed side of it, I thought you should have that. So, Chat GPT, what does GPT stand for? Generative. So it's generating different answers all the time. It's pre-trained because you've told it it's an expert in such and such. And so it knows what an expert in such and such does, or you're telling it to go look at your website for all the information. So you're training it as to what you want it to generate. Transformers. So it takes all that knowledge, all that data that's in there, and transforms it into the output that you want. So it's generating brand new text that's never been written before based on large data. And before, only large companies can use large data. Now we all can use large data, which is pretty cool. So these are the two that I'm going to be focusing on. ChatGPT, which is free, the 3.51, but it's not real time. ChatGPT is free, but it only knows what happened up until 2022. So it doesn't have information in 2023 or 2024. So you can use it to help you create an event. You can use it to help you create guidelines, things that don't change. And then Chat GPT-4 is $20 a month and it's real time. So you could go out and ask it, what are my current competitors in this area? You don't want to ask ChatGPT 3.5 that because it only knows up until 2022. And then Bing is real time, and that's the one that I use on a daily basis. So that's one of the things. So is it safe? A lot of people are worried. Is it safe? Bing's AI Copilot is part of Microsoft's broader AI initiative. It prioritizes safety, and privacy and ethical use, and it's encrypted end to end. And since I'm only focusing on these two, I thought I would share with you why is it safe for Chat GPT adheres to ethical standards, privacy, and so forth. And then there's other ones that a long list of ones that are also safe, but I wanted to just focus on those two. Okay, so benefits of AI: automation, efficiency, large data analysis, personalization, a lot of healthcare advancements that have already happened because of AI that were available to the healthcare system before we, the public, could use it. Enhance customer service. Now, one of the things the federal government is wary of is how you use it with chatbots. Because with a chatbot, with it giving information, if someone asking a question, then giving information right away, you're not seeing what that information was. So they're a little worried. They call that high risk because it might interpret something incorrectly and answer something, and that person's getting the wrong information. The way to use it for enhanced customer service is if someone's asking a human a question, they use AI in your company to find the right answer, and then they provide it. So it's almost a hybrid of AI for customer service. So be careful using the chat bots. A lot of people are on there trying to get people to use chat bots right now. Just be careful because federal government, rightly so, is worried about if someone puts in a question and it's a little bit vague, they get an answer that's not correct, and then they go to then they do something that causes them harm. So be careful financially or whatever it could be. So I'm just going to go on here. So I already talked about that. So how do you think you could use AI at home? So I better hurry up here. Yeah, how do you think you can use AI at home? So we're all busy, so you can benefit them at home. Can think about it. How do I use this AI at home? Well, here are some ideas. Writing a speech, travel plans, party planning, patient care. So this is a speech that I asked it. I put it into a prompt. I'm giving a toast at my daughter's wedding. We are close. She and I are very bossy. We live an hour from each other now. We live hours from each other. Her and her husband have great. They live in Quebec. Anyways, my friend, this is actually for a friend of mine, opened up a hotel in Northern Ontario, but I want uh, them to be here and have their kids and want to move. They both want to move back to Peterborough. So the answer was absolutely. Here's your Toast. Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to celebrate not only the union of two extraordinary individuals, but the merging of two remarkable journeys. My daughter, a chatterbox, which I would take that part out, who is determined and headstrong as I am, found her perfect match in a supportive and understanding partner. They've built a life together. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful speech. So now you think of that. If you have to do a speech at your AGM, or at a presentation and you want to give an opening speech, you basically tell it, your points, and it comes back with your speech. And then you can edit it, but it's a great starting point. Here's another one: traveling from Peterborough to Florida in February. How long will it take me? And where should I stop to sleep? So it tells me, and I could have also asked, what will the fuel consumption be? And what's the quickest route? So it tells me how long to get there. It tells me the route. It tells me I should stop in these places along the way. And these are the things I could see. It's fabulous. So I absolutely love that. And then, so it's better than just saying, hey, Google, how do I get to Florida? And what are the hotels along the way? It actually tells you the things you might want to look at along the way. This one, in this summer, we're going to Greece for my nephew's wedding in July. So then I want to go to Rhodes because that's where my sister's husband's family's from. So I said, how do I get from Athens to Rhodes? Because I really don't know. And, and there's just, you're overwhelmed with the different language, right? And so it said by plane, and it gives you a link to the plane, to the airlines that you might want to choose. Then it says car, put a car on a ferry, and it gives you a link to the ferry so you can see the times and book your ticket by ferry. It tells you how long everything is, and it tells you how you might want to get there. Oh, what a great idea, right? So now think of business. You're traveling somewhere, you have different meetings, and you would just tell it, I'm going such and such a place. I have all these different meetings. Here are the dates of the meetings. What's my best approach? Isn't that fabulous? You could say, I need it to be economical, or I need it to be, I want to only travel during the day if you're driving. You tell it all these different things. So this is a cool one. I have a 5-year-old daughter. She loves farms and princesses. What are the themes and steps to organizing a party? So it came out with all these themes, different ideas. Now I could have, when I did this live in a workshop a couple days ago, we actually said what city we were in, and it actually listed which places we could go to in a certain month. So that was cool. And then it said, these are the things to do to organize the party. So now imagine you're using this to organize your AGM, or you're using this to organize a workshop. One of the things I asked it the other day in a live workshop was, what are the give me some creative ideas for icebreakers at a workshop. That was what somebody wanted to know, and that's what they did. And it came out with some fantastic ideas that I hadn't thought of. So it really just, it goes out to the world and comes back with some of the best ideas for you. And then one I thought of was my mom. She's passed away of Alzheimer's years ago now, and I love her every day. And but the question was, my mom has early stages of Alzheimer's. She's remembering, then forgetting, then she's forgetting that, and then she gets mad if we don't tell her things. What can I do to help her? And she came up, or I don't know, in this case, I thought Chat GPT was a she, but it came up with really good, confident information and links to where I could find help. So if I had done this and this was real time for my mom in those days, I would have said in Windsor, Ontario, because that's where my mom lived. That's where I grew up. So I said in Windsor, Ontario, where might I get help? It would have really put me ahead of the game if I knew these things and I stayed calm, and it was great, great advice. So now you kind of think of those things. How do we think we can use AI for business and through business activities? So AI and business, you're expanding your knowledge in the market, and insights for more information for decisions you need to make. So you can write excellent proposals by having data. You now know it's going to give you stats. You know what people need in your area. You know what's lacking in your area, and you're able to use that. And it's going to give you links um, to the supporting references that you need in your grants, and then creating content for your social media. So there's so many ideas. Here's a whole list of ideas that you might use AI for. So you might look down there and go, yeah, I do that every day. This would really help me. I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't do that, but this would really help me. So there's all sorts of ideas. And here's more of them as I showed you earlier. Okay, so I just need to grab a drink. Oh, okay, I'm gonna need to drop. I just had a bunch of different examples. So as I mentioned before, low risk use is writing an email or inviting colleagues to a team building event example. Low use risk is drafting an existing document where you have AI built into it and you're asking it to check your spelling, asking it to make it sound a little more professional, asking to reformat it into bullets because we know bullets do very well in a grant. People want to know, here are the 5 reasons we should get this grant. People love bullets. And then high risk would be deploying the chat bot, as I mentioned. So, and generating a summary of client information. You're not supposed to put real numbers and real client information in chat GPT or AI yet, because we're not sure of the privacy. I know it's end-to-end encryption, but that would be high risk uses as per our federal government. Okay. So this is a prompt. Let's see. I said, fix this paragraph. This is me asking it to fix a paragraph. The ability to understand questions called prompts, to choose from relevant sources. So I had this convoluted thing that I was going to put in a presentation, and then it came up and gave it to me in bullets, just strictly bullets that were a lot more understandable than what I was going to do. So these prompts that I talk about, this is one of the courses I was in the other day. Be super clear in the prompt when you're giving it a prompt, and we're going to do a bunch of prompts right now. Use as few words as possible so it kind of understands what you're asking. Define the parameters and the limitations. You could even provide examples of other of what you were going to write or what others have written and you really liked, and break it up with punctuation, meaning when you don't have run-on sentences, because it won't know what, and don't have, like, make sure you use your paragraph, sorry, your period if you finish one thought, a comma if you have a number of thoughts that complement each other. So you'll get this hang of it. So let me just get into this. So
Sophie,
I already showed you all that. Here
Sophie,
we go. Yes,
we did have a question. Can
good.
AI compare Excel sheets to find things like duplicates, values, or duplicate
Yes,
values?
you can.
Information,
Good
sorry.
question. You can add an extension to your AI, and you can ask it to check through the spreadsheet. So that's something I'd be happy to. I don't have a spreadsheet example on here, but be happy to send one out um, in this PowerPoint for you. Okay, I think that'd be awesome. Great example. Great question, rather. So here's a prompt that I put in. I'm Kettle Point. How can I improve my website? So there's one you didn't think of, right? I mean, I didn't think of it until the other night. I thought, I'm writing this presentation for you guys. What would I want to know? Well, here's something from my point of view. And it came up with all of these ideas. I'm not saying they're all correct, but wow. I said, um, I'm delighted to assist you with enhancing your website. Your community's website is a vital. So it's giving them your discussion, then it's saying ensure your navigation, mobile friendly, fast loading time. So it's telling you all this information, content. It's saying perhaps you want to tweak these different pages. I thought, wow, that's brilliant. They're going to put me out of business. So I thought, well, that's excellent. And so then accessibility, engagement. So it was really, really nice content. And from my point of view, as someone that does this for a living, it did a really good job of what you can improve on a website, for example. And then it went further and went into giving more information on what you can improve. And then it said, remember, your website's a reflection of your community spirit and identity. Miigwech for your commitment to preserving and sharing your culture. I mean, that went a little bit more beyond than I expected, right? Then this was another prompt based on my website. And can you create 10? Oh, I hope I didn't do that in there. Yeah. Can you create 10 social media posts? And what visuals should accompany the post? So it said, certainly, let's create 10 engaging social media posts. And then it repeated the location we're talking about. And then it said, highlighting rich heritage, community events, and important information. Each post will include text and visual component. Here we go. And it talks about everything that it brings out 10 posts that it thinks would be useful for you to post based on your website. And that was brilliant as well. So I thought this would be very interesting for you to go in. That's why I'm going to give you this, and you can do it yourself. And you can look at, based on my website, give me social media posts and 10 social media posts. And you can see which ones of them are ones that, yeah, I know I should post more about this. I always forget that it's there, because sometimes we forget what's on our website and what we do for a living. And otherwise, it's like, oh no, I don't want to talk about this. It's not something we want to promote. I didn't even know it was still on my website. So it's very cool for it to find for you what you might want to see from your website. Okay, and there's all sorts of ideas. And then you're an expert in Indigenous grants in Ontario. You are helping me. I am a member of the Chippewa and Kettle Point First Nation, and I'd like a grant to help grow my new company. Do you know of any grants that I can apply for? And what are the elements of each grant? Can you write an introduction of to each grant for me? So it certainly, and then it comes up, and I don't even know if these grants are still available. And I probably should have said, I would think it would know I meant now, but I didn't say the time frame. So it's got one grant here, Indigenous Economic Development Fund, and then it supports projects that diversify. Anyway, so it talks about what it approaches, and then it has a link to the grant itself so they can find out more information on the grant. And then it has the second one, the New Relationship Fund, and then a link to that grant. And then you could say, okay, now write me a paragraph based on my website. If they have a website, write me a paragraph on how I might be able to satisfy these elements in this grant. Pretty crazy, right? So you're an expert community researcher. I'm applying for a grant to help my local businesses in the United Nations of Thames, Ontario, grow. What industries are we lacking here? Please write an executive summary as how these industries will boost our economy. That's pretty cool, right? So I was just thinking of these as I was thinking about you guys, thinking this would help. So, as an expert community researcher, grant writer, I understand the importance of identifying growth opportunities. Let's delve into the industries, and it comes out with clean water. It comes out with elements that it thinks that may be based on what it knows of your community, and it's just looking out at all the websites that are out there that could be an opportunity for grants. So it might be incorrect because this is 2006. So you would want to look at it, and there might be something in there, Aboriginal sustainable agriculture opportunity, and then it's got a link to what it thinks it's talking about. That at least is 2022. And then tourism and indigenous opportunities, that's 2022. So it gives you different ideas on what you might be able to position as an opportunity in your community. Okay, and then it goes on by strategically focusing on these, you achieve economic growth. And it goes on. So, and then it gives you the executive summary that I asked for. So obviously I don't expect you to be able to see this, but it gives you an executive summary and details. So this is one that I thought was fun. I thought, okay, the press release prompt. I thought, I'm going to ask it for a press release for my husband. So Ed Newhook has been a contractor for 32 years. He retired for a year. So this again is what I would put in the prompt. He's bought a new excavator. Who doesn't want an excavator on their front lawn? I didn't say that in here. They love their new machine. So now he and his loyal team can go back to work. Anyways, he's expanded his services to do leaky basements, fences, and different things. And I supply his website. So it came back with this beautiful press release saying, renowned contractor in the Kawartha Lakes announced new services. unique selling points, who's the target audience. It's just a perfect press release. Then I asked it, I said, based on that press release, can you give me 10 social media posts? So then it gave me all sorts of social media posts introducing our new land and leveling service, audience, home owners who to transform this sloping, transform your back. And then what it says you should say, transforming your backyard to a level oasis with our professional and leveling service. Say goodbye to uneven terrain. And then it tells you what kind of picture you should have, a before and after shot. So it's given me all sorts of content that, we put out press releases. So put your press release into AI and ask it for your social media posts. So these are just examples that I'd want you to do. I'm trying to see what the time is. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go and do a real example. I'm an executive at blank, executive director. I want to write a delicate yet professional email telling someone who loves our community who applied for a loan here at blank that they didn't qualify. So if there are ever times that you have to write a delicate um, uh, letter like that, this is a great example. This is a great tool to help you. There's another one. You are an expert researcher who can help me identify main companies in my market and tell me how I can be better than them. I love this prompt. I want you to find me the best company in doing a similar product in a similar area and deliver responses with company names and descriptions of what makes them a good company at what they do and how I could do even better. So this is an example. This is a great example of a prompt. So if I go and copy this, and again, I'm sending you all sorts of prompts to look at, and I go into Bing over here. So this is Bing. I don't want to do this now. And then if I go here, remember I said you click on this. Hopefully you can see it. You click on this, and that opens up my my oh, where'd it go? That opens up my chat. That opens up my chat, and this opens up my compose. So right now, what I wanted to ask it was, ask me anything. Um, I'm not identify. Let's see. Move. And so this product, what should the product be? I'm going to say I make skirts. I'm going to say I make, I don't know, skirts. I learned how, oops, oh my gosh, I don't do well under pressure, how to make them from my grandmother. And and then service area, I'm going to say London, Ontario, and Sarnia, Ontario. I don't want them to think I'm in London, England. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so now I do that and it's looking for me. I said balanced. I could have said more precise. Certainly, let's compare some First Nation skirts in London, Ontario. So it's giving me different companies, resistant clothes, description, native Canadian clothing brand. And then it's giving me strengths. They collaborate with Indigenous designers, ensuring authenticity. Oh, I should make this bigger for you. And then we've got suggestions. Consider incorporating more traditional and storytelling elements, First Nation cultures in your designs. Planet Stitch, established in the First Nations, you guys might know them. One-stop shopping for all customers, their strengths, and then it tells us how if you were moving into that area, how you might improve it. Pre and pre streetwear apparel, feature indigenous designed, and then it goes on. So I just asked for, I think, 5, but you can ask for as many as you like. Pretty cool, right? And then each one has the link. Each one tells you how you might do better than them. And remember, your unique connection to your grandmother's teachings gives you authentic perspective. Embrace that heritage, infuse it in your designs and creations. So you could see how simple that was. Just ignore that. So I just absolutely love this. So it's pretty amazing. Then if I wanted to compose that, you could go to compose and you could say, I want a paragraph, email, ideas. So say it's ideas, and I'm going to say, um, uh, I would say, give me ideas on what I can do better in this area in selling skirts in London, Ontario, and it's going to give me bullets. And it's just pretty powerful. I see I got 10 minutes left, so I'm going to rush back here. So you can see how easy that is. And so you make a mistake, you put in a prompt and it doesn't come out like you expected, do it again, So it's very simple to use. And then for example, if you have problems with HR and you're not sure how you're supposed to do something, you ask it and it comes out with links to all of the support you might need in human resources, for example. Um, so I'm just going to continue here. These are just some of the different prompts I'm going to be giving you so that you know. And what this one came from, this prompt was, you're a researcher, can help me identify my audience. Actually, this is incorrect, and I'll correct it for you. This was, you're a researcher and I'd like to know how to automate my company, how to take my company to the next level. And the answers it came from was, oh my God, I'm rushing too much. Okay, so sorry, this is correct. You're an expert researcher who can help me identify my main company's audience that drives them to purchase. I want you to give me a list of audiences in your area who find value in our services. So you list the services down here. Present your results in a table, 3 columns. So you're asking for 3 columns: audience, what motivates them, how you can address their needs, and recommend 5 niches. So it's pretty amazing. So it's saying in this area that new entrepreneurs, I think this was London, Ontario, they need guidance on resources. And then how you address their needs, offer personalized coaching and mentoring. Non-for-profit organizations, they need support and grants. Remote workers. So it's looked at the area and it sees that there are needs in these types of audiences. What's really cool about that is I've done this workshop now across Ontario in a few different areas, and the audience has been completely different in every single city that we do it in. So it's really looking at that specific city and seeing what it sees as the need. So it's very cool. And then it gets into what programs you might want to offer those different audiences. So I'm going to leave this area now and I'm going to go over to the next part of the presentation. So again, you're going to get all these prompts, like I said. So you can look at business coaching. You can look at all sorts of ideas here on your own. You can even ask it to help you create your vision and mission, your elevator pitch, which I absolutely love. You can ask it to, and you just use the prompt and it'll help you create your elevator pitch. These are examples. It asks you, tell it something, it asks you another question, you tell it something, it tells you another question, you keep on answering questions. So it's good to do this in a group. And then it finally tells you, here are the 3 elevator pitches that I think might work for your company. So it's pretty cool, right? And these were the questions that it ended up asking you. So let's just continue here. And these are just more prompts and answers. So I have a whole bunch of them for you. And these were the guidelines. So now, just in closing, I want to make sure I get to this for you because it's pretty exciting. You're thinking, okay, I can do all that by going to adding a prompt, asking questions. And I want you to start trying to do that. Every time you have a question, think about going to ChatGPT or to Copilot and ask it a question. But when you're using some of your tools like Microsoft Word or Docs or the Excel program, which I'll put in here, like I said, I don't have an example of it, but it definitely has the integration as well. PowerPoint or slides, Canva, Zoom, or Constant Contact. So what you want to do is when you go to your Word or to your Docs, the AI is not there automatically. You have to add it. So what you do is you go in this case to Microsoft Word, you go to add-ins and you click on the add-in and then you'll end up being able to add an AI. So I think I have that here for you. Yeah. So what happens is you go to add-ins And now there's a ton of different AIs in here. When I first started using AI, the only one that was there was Ghostwriter. So I could go into Ghostwriter and say, I'm an expert in marketing. Please help me write an introduction to this digital marketing audit. So this is a digital marketing audit form that I wrote for a client not too long ago. So I'm asking it to write an executive summary. I'm an employee, make it sound convincing or make it sound creative, encouraging. So you tell it how you want it to sound. Do you want it long? Do you want it Canadian English, US English? So I'm going to, I guess, US English. And then you ask it to go. So it goes, and then it's going to, so this is now in my Microsoft Word. So welcome to Digital Market, our new company. At our company, we understand the importance of staying ahead of the fast-paced online landscape. Today, we embark on a journey together to uncover hidden gems, untapped potential through your digital presence. So it's given me that beautiful executive summary, which and being an engineer, I wouldn't have made it, as look as nice as that. So it's taken my document and it's given it an executive summary. So it's pretty amazing that way. So I would encourage you, if you're using Microsoft Word or Docs, to add it in and help you along the way. Um, Current slide. So that's add-ins for Microsoft Word. For Google Docs, it's extensions. You add an extension to your Google Doc, and the extension that you add, if you click on this, you can add a new extension, and it's GPD for Docs, Slides, Sheets, or Slides. So I happen to use it on Docs and Slides, but you can also use it on Excel. So you can create text, you can put improved text, or you can add an image, or you can create an AI image. So it's pretty cool. So I would write something and I would say, improve this text, check my spelling, make this more professional, lengthen this. And it's pretty amazing. So Canva, I love Canva. It's done a number of things with AI right now. So one of the things that I wanted to just show you that it does is you can go to Canva and hi guys, and you can, when you start writing in Canva now, and it wasn't there before, you can do magic write and you can ask it to summarize, just, make it more formal, make it more funky, more fun, or just fix my spelling, because I know there's a spelling error there. So it fixed my spelling. So now I could say, sprinkle fairy dust. I have no idea what that's going to do. So enroll today. So it made it a little bit more exciting. So you can take your writing and improve it, which is really cool. Also on Canva, which is brand new, you can go to the apps and you can click on AI and you can see all sorts of different AI apps that come up. We could spend an entire day on, I think, AI apps on Canva, but there's so many of them now, helping you create images, videos. So it's really cool. The one that I know that you'd want to use is the Magic Write. There's also one on Canva that helps you bulk upload. Also, if you create a number of slides and you have a whole bunch of, and you've asked Chat GPT to create maybe 10 or 20 social media posts, you can then bulk upload it to Canva and it'll create all those posts for you. That's they have a nice video on how to use that on here. It shows you exactly how to enter manually or upload a CV file and how to create bulk social media posts. So it's pretty amazing. So it's come up with all sorts of different tools for us to use. Okay, so those are some of the things on Canva. And yeah, and then like I said, the magic write is pretty powerful. And then the upload your content. So it's a bulk create and it has a video exactly how you do it on Canva. Zoom. One of the things on Zoom that I really love is something called AI Companion. So at least for me, it was off when when they first came out with AI Companion. So I had to go to settings, and then from settings I had to go to recording, and then to recording I had to turn it on. So when I looked at Kayla's today, it was already on. So I don't know if someone had already done it ahead of time. So what happens there is it will listen, if you want it to an entire Zoom presentation, and then it will give you a summary It'll give you action items. It'll take what I'm talking about and turn it into text. It really summarizes well. So I don't know how many of you are on different boards and someone has to write minutes. It's the best minute taker ever. And so then it summarizes it for you. So then you can go back and you can look at your AI companion and you can actually look at this is an example of one of the Zooms I was on recently. It'll say, give me every part of the meeting plus the next steps, who is going to do what next. Very powerful. So I use that on all of my meetings where I need to remember what I'm supposed to do after, and I go back and I look at it. It's really helped me up my game. I work with a lot of different companies daily, helping them create their websites or their AI plan, and then I work with them again the next week, and I go, oh, geez, what did I say with them? I go back to my AI companion now, and I refresh my memory, so I'm actually so on tune with what I'm supposed to do with them. So this is the email tools, all of our email tools that I don't know if you guys use Microsoft, sorry, Constant Contact or MailChimp. They have built into them now AI content creators. So while you're creating your content in this one's Constant Contact, it can help you write your email.